Hello, everybody. 4 o'clock on the Pacific Coast, 7 o'clock on the East Coast. It's June 8th, and we got a good one for you. We're going to have to go a little bit quick. I got a lot to unpack for you, and let's get right to it. We don't have much time. Welcome. All right. So last week, we talked a little bit about the insanity. So I just moved those all together. Remember, we had the big drone blitz. We had the Biden's a clone. We had the sunspots. We had the AI that broke the protocols for becoming a sentient being, and another one of Bigfoot. What happened the rest of the week? Well, look at this. Now it's looking pretty good, folks, that Iran either has enough nuclear fissionable material to make bombs, or they already have them. And that's not good. Yeah. I read a report that said they might have enough up to 10 weapons, 10 bombs. So that's a big deal. Obviously, we got the big protests or riots or insurrections, whatever you want to call it, happening in LA. And the most richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world taught us all how to work your differences through social media. Unbelievable. So it's just getting better. So I've just decided, before we look at the New York Stock Exchange Index each week, we got to just talk about the insanity. So I'm just going to keep adding it, and let's see what happens. This is going to be a lot of fun. All right, to the markets. Boom. The Barron's cover. So Larry Pesavento sent this out, and he wrote something pretty interesting. He said, "This has never been wrong as a contra trade." And so if you look up here at the top of it, Barron's, June 9th, 2025, which is tomorrow, they are saying to start worrying. Uh-oh. If you're a bear, that means this market could explode if you believe the track record of doing opposite what Barron says. It's pretty significant. I bet JC might have somebody might have, maybe I'll ask Croc, but I bet they have the actual percentage of times that Barron's comes out with saying something on their cover and the market does exactly the opposite. They're telling us to start worrying. Okay, if we cap up, it might be game on. So the counter trade for Barron's is actually to be long this market, folks. Believe it or not. Take care of that right there. Boom. Toffer, you're there. What's up, brother? Thanks for joining again. We got to do something and really look at the Barron's indicator and see how accurate it is. I love it. I might bring that up to Spencer. I bet you some of the smart people might be able to figure that out. So let's rock and roll. New York Stock Exchange Index monthly. Nothing's changed, folks. Nothing's changed. We got those targets a little bit higher. And we really want to see that upper target, 2445, get hit. And then you can see in the blue arrow, we can go a little bit higher. I just kind of sense that, folks. I do not think we're out of the woods by any stretch of imagination, but I do believe that, we got 5-10% higher is not out of the cards. So we'll just be thinking about that. Yeah, Toffer, sorry. Toffer saying bears worry or bulls worry. So with Barron's, they're saying the cover said, I'll go back to it real quick. The cover said the S&P 500 just hit 6,000. Start worrying. So the Barron's is actually a contraindicator. So if they tell you to start worrying, we need to start not worrying. So if they put a big, huge bear on the cover, then you want to be a bull. If they put a big, huge bull on the cover, then you want to be a bear. So that's how it works. Joe, what's up? Thanks for joining, brother. That's how it works, Toffer. All right, we good? Dow Jones, we talked about this last week. I really want us to key in on that 47,000 level. Again, because we got 1 point per day trend line, the 1 by 1 trend line from 1896, folks. Coming in last week, it was 47.41. This week, it's 47,048. So it's not moving a lot, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So if we can get this market to scream up there, I think we're going to hit some significant resistance in the 47,000 area. Excuse me. And if you look, we've actually have two projections coming in right around 47,200s. So that's where I'm thinking the Dow is going. So that's 6,000 more points, folks, right? Not bad for a day's work. For 41,000 10% would be what, 4,000? So yeah, about a 15% higher maybe on the Dow. If we're going to start down, we need to start down this week or very close to tomorrow or Tuesday or maybe even right now. We're getting into that time zone, but it certainly doesn't feel like we're going to go lower, just sentiment wise. But we'll have to wait and see. But I really like this target up here on the Dow. XLP, NYA, we use the patterns with the ratios. In this case, we've been watching this huge support area. If we break it, we're going to go down and complete that really beautiful buy pattern. I'd be selling stocks here. I think that could be the time for a big correction. But first, we need to get below that big, huge green horizontal line. That is horizontal support that's been around for almost 13 years. So where I'm going with this is if and when we get like a daily close below, stocks can take off, really take off. Why? Because emotionally, from a sentiment perspective, they busted through 13-year support zone. So when this ratio goes down, the risk is on. And when the ratio goes up, risk is off. And this is a monthly chart, right? So we're dealing with a lot of time here. So watch this one big time. Dollar index, hanging by a thread, folks. But even if we do break through that red line, we've got that target and it's right at 95, which is a beauty. That's my line in the sand for the dollar index. We blow through that, something ain't right at the Circle K. Toffer, Barron says, don't gorge on stocks at these levels. All right, for what it's worth. Thanks, Toffer. Maybe you do then. I don't know. We talked about this one, folks. This is one you don't see often, the yen over the financials. We haven't hit it yet, but we're certainly getting close, aren't we? I really want this pattern to complete. When this happens, when this ratio goes up, it's historically called every top in the financials. That's why we're watching this level so importantly. Still hadn't hit the level yet, folks, and we just got to be patient. Hey, Wavy, happy Sunday. Thoughts on platinum? Yeah, I think it broke out. Feels like this movie is real and has legs. I think you might be right. If I get the chance, Wavy, I'll take a look at it. If not this week, maybe I'll post it on Barts Charts sometime. If not today. And here's XLF. Check these targets out. So this going up is actually this move going down. I did this move again. And then remember, we had that big failure that we talked about. But ultimately, here's that same move, just a little higher. So, and remember, and the reason I'm bringing this up is we got that right there. So see the ABCD buy. Here's the, wrong way. Here's the ABCD sell. So it's pretty wild to see it all coming together, isn't it? And then all I did with this guy right here is this dashed black line is 1.618, these lines. So that's another target for us too, okay? That's all good. Richard's asking, are you using Elliott wave method when you chart? So thanks, Richard. I try to if it makes sense. And I know that sounds crazy. I tell people I like to count if it's like a Ray Charles count, if you can see it, if that makes sense. But ultimately what I tell people is it's like my Elliott wave counting is like my golf game. If after the end of that par 5, I sit in the cart and you go, hey, what'd you get? And I go and I start counting back and I go, oh yeah, I got a 6. I probably got an 8. So if I can stay up above subwaves of subwaves of subwaves, I might throw a count in there. But I try not to get too crazy with my counts, and I like to use them on long-term charts. So there will be some Elliott wave here in the brief. Okay, thanks, Richard. All right, folks, we've been talking about this one. I'm getting really bullish on bonds. Yes, believe it or not, we've been going down for almost 5 years, and no kidding. Hey, Richard, look at that. There's some Elliott wave for you. This count gives me a really good Ray Charles somewhat look of it needs to finish this 5th wave. And that 5th wave is right down there in the low 100. So 100 to 103 on the long bond. And again, I think this will just be a B wave, but it could be multi-month, even a year. Because, we've been going down for 3 or 4. So this is going to be a great buy, folks. Now, we lose this level and the bonds just tank farther, things aren't good, right? So we really got to watch that. Number two, look at our open interest and volume. So open interest and volume are dropping. Market is nearing a bottom. It could do that for a while, right? But what we're seeing is we start to see the crack of the open interest and the volume going down. And we're getting close, we haven't hit it yet, to that green area right here. That's looking pretty sweet. So this is a indicator that we can use to say, boy, what we're seeing is kind of coming together. And oh, by the way, look at this bullish divergence, folks. Nice, huh? And then what I did here is as we came down to make the low back in 83, look at that bullish divergence. So I think bonds are getting ready. I do not think we buy them now. I would wait, and we want this little trend line here to get taken out. And then we're going to go down here to 100 to 103. I'll close my TBT position at that point, and I'll buy TLT, or maybe I'll just go in the futures market and buy some futures. But I do think we need to get ready for a long bond. Boeing, A, B, C, D, E. Here's our triangle, A, B, C, D, E. There's another Elliott wave correction for you. So I guess I do use it, Richard. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate that, dude. Buy ANET. Toffer, maybe I'll look at it. It'll be a big short, right? But folks, look at this, right? Triangles are awesome when you figure out where they are. So this could be, look, higher highs when we have lower lows. This looks like a triangle, especially because of this thrust coming into it. So triangles are 5 waves, A, B, C, D, and I updated it. You are here. So I like this 707 because that's 0.618 of this BC move. And that's about 226, 224-ish. But for all intents and purposes, I believe that we're finishing the 5th leg of a triangle, and the next move down in Boeing is low. We'll want to buy that one because triangles usually, not a rule, usually occur in the 4th wave. So this is looking like a multi-year triangle. The reaction is usually swift and severe, but ultimately, once we get through this low down here at about 80, we're going to back up to the monthly and look for what could be a logical buy spot. I don't think Boeing's going out of business, folks, but they obviously hit some headwinds. So keep an eye on that Boeing triangle. We've been watching this one. GDX. This is an interesting one, folks. Remember this? So we talked last week about gold, and we talked about how gold is it's in a 5th wave. I feel very strong about that. But with the geopolitical situation, I think it's the game right now. You want to be long gold. So this is really interesting that right now, this one appears to have worked from a sell. So this is a sell pattern. Here's our projection, A, B, C, D. Here's our extension. We got a 1.414. And here's our retracement, which is 0.786. And we banged right into it. So keep an eye on this one, because if gold's going to continue higher, this could be one of our first big divergences in GDX, the miners. We'll have to take a look at them. But we've been watching this one, folks. It went up and it hit it. So any higher, if we got a daily close above about 56, I think GDX could be off to the races. But right now, man, it smacked right into that resistance, didn't it? The other thing I want you guys to look at is look at the measured moves. Here's this purple guy. Remember now I used the close, and bam, here's a black, right? This is like a 3rd wave. See how strong that is? So that's a nice one to use. I used it here. Here's the purple. We used it here. Look at these greens. Everything is harmonic, folks. Everything is harmonic. So keep that in mind. Bitcoin, boom. So we did pretty well. We nailed this 109, and it's just not ready. So if you remember, I called this another wave higher, and I'm looking now at a 1.618 price projection of about 122. So about the 120s to 130s. And there's a timing cycle in and around August. So, man, it looks like I could get 20,000 points. But what I'm really looking for is that early to mid-August timeframe to see where we are. But again, like gold, I like this count, folks. Hey, Richard, sorry, I keep looking up here because this is where the there you are, Richard. This is where the chat is. So I keep looking over to see what you're saying. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It's not a rule. It can happen in the second wave for a triangle. Richard made a point. But it's most of the time it's going to be a fourth wave. Oh, this was a really nice one. So the EFA ETF, folks, it's land right into that level. So we got to get through about 93.57. Let's just say 94 on this ETF for those small to medium mid caps to keep going. But they are running into a lot of patterns and resistance, aren't they, folks? So this whole 90s area is big resistance. It's a little hard to see. Maybe when you go back and watch the replay, I've got my trend line, my trend channel here, and that's coming in at about 100. So I'm not considering this a breakout until we get up above this red line here for the EFA. IBM, boy, look at this one, folks. Bam! All-time low, old all-time high, retrace, project, whammo. Sell IBM 279 to 281. I'd be out as high as you want. 282. I can't define your risk for you, but this is a beauty right here. We blow through here, folks. IBM could be a lot farther. It could go. But for now, man, ABCD. And then go take a look at the Barts Charts IBM, and you'll see the work I did here to get long on IBM right here. It's pretty sweet. But I don't know what IBM does. I think they're doing well with AI. They're smart people. They wear their white shirts. Bottom line is we got an ABCD. Boom, boom. And it goes right into the 1.618 extension. So that whole 280 to 282 is going to be a big deal for IBM. Or it gaps right over and it keeps going. They're just patterns, folks. Just patterns. Nvidia. Why Nvidia? Anybody remember, Toffer? You remember from last week? Because we have just squared out the all-time high. So 153 days ago was January 7th. And time and price equal the same thing. So very important day tomorrow for Nvidia, because we have taken this price of 153 and we've converted price to time, and we use calendar days. You can use planets, but we use calendar days, and we go from January 7th, 153 days. That gives us June 6th to 9th, and we are there right now. So we're squaring out the high. We're here at this 1.618 price projection. Look at these blue lines, folks. I mean, it's very harmonic. So Nvidia is not necessarily out of the woods yet, folks. We have a square out. Maybe it explodes tomorrow, but we're going to watch Nvidia and basically watch it for a day or two, and then just go with the direction that it goes, because this is a square out of the all-time high. So we got a little bit of timing to play with is where I'm going with it. All right. Gold. Here it is, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I just telling you, geopolitical situation is pretty ugly. So I wouldn't be surprised to see gold go up into the 4,000s, even 4,300. And all I'm doing here, remember, they pegged gold at $20 back in the 1900s, early 1900s. So I'm projecting from here, and that's my target for the 1.618, which is 41.44. Again, I do think gold's in a fifth wave. I did not try to short it. We haven't gotten a signal reversal candle, folks. That's strong, strong, strong. So we're looking at resistance points. It banged into the 127. It'll go up to the 1.618 in this environment, I believe. So we got to watch out. We're rolling, folks. We got a lot to do. Oh, if you go to Bart's Charts, what I did was I did a ratio analysis of Target versus Walmart. It's very interesting because, Walmart's definitely stronger than Target, and Target's gotten slammed. But when you go to my blog, you'll find that Walmart is rolling right up into a pretty significant resistance area, while Target is actually rolling into a pretty significant support area. So maybe we're going to have like the great rotation from Walmart and Target. I'm calling it. Pretty crazy, huh? But it was too much. You'll see why. We got a lot to go over today. So go to the blog and you'll see it. And hopefully it'll make sense for you. But I did put in this chart because this has never happened to me before. And that's why I said, you know what? Looks like Walmart's got a pretty important target. So what you're seeing here is Walmart on a monthly basis. Again, I'm using these blue arrows to define my measured move. So you can see that over here on the left. And then I use the standard stuff. Here's 0.618 of that. Look at that, right at the top. Isn't that nuts? So this whole move here, well, that's just that's the square root of 3, 1.732. It's unbelievable, isn't it? So then I took this measured move and I just put it right here at this most recent low. Bam, takes us right into the 127 extension. But here's where it gets interesting, and you'll see this on the blog. I only put one chart in. There's about 5 or 6 charts on the blog. These circles, don't get confused. So what you do is you pick 3 points on a line, and that helps you do what? That helps you create a circle. We learned that in like 2nd grade. That's all I did. And then what you do is you take where the intersections are occurring, the viscous piscus, by the way, wink, wink, nod, nod, and that becomes the gravity center. Well, what's really fascinating about this is if I take the all-time low up to this first high, and I go down, down to this little area here, and I project up, I get a 4.236, 1.618 cubed extension target right at the gravity center. Wow, never seen that happen before. So we really want to take a look at shorten Walmart at about about 113 to 112. Yeah. Go to the blog. I think you'll like it. It's a good question, Richard. I don't know. I looked at Broadcom. He's asking if Broadcom will follow Nvidia. I don't know. Yeah. But the reason, we can go into it about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And actually, when I came on JC's show, I forget when it was. But I said, hey, semiconductors are topping. And they're like, you're crazy. Well, the semiconductor index had a major ABCD completing. And then we looked at the new Taiwan dollar for Taiwan with Nvidia and the chips. Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. But go do yourself a favor. Take a look at that post. I thought it was pretty good, but you'll see the geometry and how we can work it out. But anyway, got some strength on Walmart. I think, about 112 to 113 should be pretty big resistance. It just looks like it wants to go there, right, folks? That's the point. Yeah, and AMD probably too. Amazon got some targets, folks. Look at that. Boom, boom. Look at this measured move. Last move up. That's actually equal to these moves here. Crazy, isn't it? So again, we're sitting at the 618. Now, when you go about thinking about the euphoria of the market and the big comeback we've had, which we have, Amazon's just sitting at a 0.618. So this thing could roll over and die. So what I'm neutral. I'm just a pattern guy. But what I'm looking at is some of these stocks haven't rallied as much as they thought. So we're looking at resistance on Amazon from 211 to 224. If we get a big breakout, we get the move going, I think this is ultimately a target. It will be a target sooner or later. So I'd like it to try to get through 211 and 224 because then we'll get to where those projections are. All right. Japan. You like that, you guys? I put the map in there. I thought that was kind of cool. Look at this. So seems to like the blue measured move. Here's the blue measured move on the way down. Here's the blue measured move on the way up. Here's the blue measured move on the way up. Here's the exact same blue measured move on the way up. I take a projection. I'm in here at about 78. I do this guy right here, 1, 2, 3. I'm about 78.5. I've got all of these extension targets. I've got a 127 price projection from here. Folks, a lot of resistance, 76 to 80 on Japan. Oh, a good question, TT. Where can we read the blog? BartsCharts.com. Go ahead and sign up for it too. It's free if you want to put your email in there. And anytime I post stuff, I haven't posted for a while. I was trying to figure out things for JC. He's like, dude, keep posting on Barts Charts. I was like, oh, okay. So I'll start posting there and inside of Stock Market TV. Yeah, sometimes I'm a little slow on the uptake. But look at that EWJ, folks. It hit it, and it started selling off a little bit. But again, I like when it comes up to these targets. Notice this. This is a 3 drives to a top. And the symmetry would be better if we come up here, but look at the timing. Top, 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 down time. Japan, might be topping. Tesla. So we're starting to get into some cool things. The cool things meaning some, let's say, interesting techniques. First off, here's the measure move. Boop. Copy, paste, bam. Look at that. Now that's a 618 retracement. That's a 786 retracement. It's a 127 extension. About $1.76.7 is a great buy. We might want it to go ahead and do what? Finish the whole correction. And so if we lose here, I would buy it here at 100. 98 to about 100. What I'm doing here is EWI. I don't know if I have time for that one. Who's that? Ireland or something? Topper? So this is what's called a timing control bar, TCB. Michael Jenkins taught it to me. I think it's in his day trading book. But basically, from this point, it took this much time tracking to go to this top. So now what we do is we convert. Oops, sorry about that. Whoop. What we do is we convert price in time. So I just make this the radius, and now I have price. Copy, paste. Well, isn't that wild? It lands right there. Oh, Italy. Okay. My people. I'm from Lucca. Well, my grandfather was. So this is a big deal, folks. It's like 180-ish. But if we lose it, then we'll come down here and go to the buy too. I do want to look at buying it, and I'm going to go on a limb here. So this was a corrective move, and we're looking at Elliott wave here. This is not 5 waves. It looks like 3 waves, which would tell me it's an expanded flat correction, which tells me that buy 2 makes a lot of sense because it'll be A, B, C. Expanded flat. Why? Because B went above where A started. And so that will take us right down to this old support level too. And that'll be one big flat correction. Expanded because B took out where A was. So keep an eye on that. And then Tesla goes to new highs. Because I think what we're dealing with here is a 3, A, B, C, 4, and off we go. All right? So keep an eye on Tesla, folks. Even if they are fighting. Germany. Oh, that's what the heck, man? That was like Asian. That wasn't German. Sprechen die Deutsch. EWG, look at all the patterns. But here's what's interesting is it tipping its hand. It blew through this ABCD. It blew through the black one. However, we got a lot of extension targets up higher. So looks like a valid breakout from Germany. By the way, Martin Armstrong, if you want to spend $500, he did a special report on Germany and Japan. He thinks they're going to be the first to default. Yep. So I'm not going to call this a valid breakout till we get a daily close above 43.50, folks, or 44. Okay. Too many resistance points. It's not even stopping at the ABCD, so it could blow through there, but we're really hitting all these different targets. Okay. Germany. Now, I think that was Daniel. That's me, by the way, guys. No kidding. And I paddled into that wave, and it was amazing. Look at that white water. So I decided to just do something real quickly, just to kind of show you all the different techniques that you can use, but more importantly, how none of them have anything to do with fundamentals. Fundamentals are important. Fundamentals are important, period. I don't understand them. I'm not smart enough. So when I'm making these patterns and just looking at the rhythm, that's all I'm looking at. I have no idea. And so when I started looking at silver, I have no idea how the COMEX prices it. I have no idea, just looking at the charts. So this is going to be a really fun drill, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you go to the Barts Charts, you can go, search for silver. I actually put these together, so you can email me, and I can email you the presentation that shows you what I'm about to show you, because I think you'll be tripped out. I really do. Riding the silver waves. Let's go. So here's silver. So this is the silver futures. It's a monthly chart, and it basically goes from 72 to 2008. So folks, this was 17 years ago. And again, my eye was drawn to what? The measured move. So see these red arrows here? I'm like, wow, that's the same correction. We should be buying silver and it's going to take off. Oh, so what we have here is, again, Michael Jenkins taught me this is a mirror image fold back. And so I'm going to do another chart here. But what I want to show you is, remember the structure I always talk about? In this case, we have what? We have a move, we have a downtrend. So we're interested in resistance. So I just take that little resistance point, clean cut through right here, and look at that. Bam. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about structure. So we completed this move. We completed the same move. We're going to do this again. So, and oh, by the way, all of this is real time. There's no coulda, woulda, shoulda. Take a look. If you ever want to see people, there's usually an arrow down here where, you know, oh, this is what I would have done. No, all this is real time, folks. And what I saw was this symmetry. So here's the fold back point. It's like looking in a mirror, folks. So what happens is price comes into it, hits the fold back point, and then it leaves in exactly the same manner. The first top, the first top, the first, second top, second top, third top, third top. Folks, what I'm going to show you is going to blow your mind. So it goes down the same amount. It goes down the same amount. And then what's it do? It explodes higher. And maybe that happens with silver. Of course it does. So we're over here. Buy silver at $8. Off it went. It was a great one, folks. Now, I'm putting this structure here. See this line here at 24? Because downtrend, resistance, structure, price should come back down, bang 24, and off it goes. I did the basic technologies. Here's the base, height of the move. And I was able to find the resistance, but it still had more to go. So I said, this leg is still in force, and a blow-off spike could still occur. Tracking? Joe, I'm going to have to look. Joe said not to tempt you, but the measured moves in A&F are insane. I love it, Joe, and you're using them, bro. So anyway, we knew it should go higher. Now, what's fascinating is look at the arc. See how the arc was resistance, just went right up the arc? Well, it smacked right into the arc. It's crazy. So off we go, right? So this pattern is complete. It did the exact same thing, folks, but it gets worse. It gets really crazy. Now, this was a potential target because it was an ABCD. See that? But it did the exact same. So then let's go find it. These were all pi extensions, pi projections, and you can see the work that I'm doing right here. I did this right here. This was the rock hitting the water, and I was trying to capture this resistance zone here, roll it up to the top. It blew right through it, which is fine. I could probably find the musical note for this one, and it'd be about here. See that, folks? See the arcs, they come down. And I actually wrote an article for the MTA. It got denied. It's called Musical Polarity. They didn't know what I was talking about. I probably didn't know what I was talking about either. So bam, there was the top. Isn't that crazy? And now we started down. Here's our first three legs. Measured move, boom. Three waves, 3, 3, 5. There's our A wave, there's our B wave. We're going down. So even when we were all the way up at 36, I was like, the buy's around 14 to 12. Isn't that crazy? Andy, thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. Hopefully it's fun, man. It's really geeky, but it's not. And by the way, I just had to wear Mr. Febo today. He's my homeboy. So check it out, guys. All this is real time, you guys. So I'm still watching it. Look at this resistance, or excuse me, support here at 26. It's going to give away, and it's going to shit itself. So I'm like, buy. We're looking to buy down here at 14. And this is where it got really interesting. Again, what do we do, folks? Long-term log charts are your friends. They're your friends. So this is the silver. It's this chart, folks. Well, that's actually the spot. That spot. There, it's this chart, but it's log. And look what happens. It's the same form. We go down, blue. We go down, blue. We go up, orange. We go up, orange. We go down, red. We go down, red. And what do we have? We have a consolidation triangle. It's the same. Isn't that amazing? So we fell out. We fell through this support. You see that? See how it held it at first? Cracked through. And now we're getting ready to buy silver. So here it is again as it's happening. Isn't that crazy, you guys? And we're about ready to have a spike down, and then silver is going to take off. We are here. We are here. Here's a 91% correction. 91.59 times 0.786 equals 71.96. Well, look at that. That's exactly where the correction ended so far. Not wild? Well, of course, it's going to be the same, you guys. Isn't that amazing? 90%. So we're following. There's my A3 waves. There's my Richard. This is funny. Yes, I guess I do use, but this was kind of Ray Charles-ish. So we know a C wave is coming. 1, 2, long C wave, 3, 4, and now we're going to do 5 waves down into 12 to 14 bucks. Did it again. We're just waiting. Boom. Went back to the fold back point. You guys tracking? Here's our points. But look, I said, you know what? This is this. So guess what? It probably should do this. So there it is. So we're looking to buy silver $11 to $13. And it was just so funny because it hung out there. If you guys remember, silver hung out there for a while. And I thought it was going to honor the ABCD at 14. But what did it do? Spiked down to right there, about 1150. And I showed you guys here, measured move correction. So remember, this is our fold back point, right? So now we're going, all right, we're going to come down and do this correction again. We did the exact same one. So this is where we are right now with silver. Silver's weaker, obviously. We completed on Friday a silver sell pattern. Here's the pattern right here. Boop, boop, boop. Retracement, structure, boom. We are in a very intense, crazy time right now, folks. I'm expecting this pattern to fail, which means what? Bam. So here's where you can play it. I don't like doing this because I can't. I've lost pretty much all my money on buying breakouts back in the day. I just don't do it anymore. I'll wait. It'll probably come back down to 35. But this is huge resistance at 4163-ish, 4150s. Why? Because we're going here all the way back to 1973, and we're going A, B, B, C. This is 0.618, lands right on the 786 from the old high, big resistance. So think about it. If you want to potentially grab $6 in silver, you can buy it, take it up to 41, close it. Ultimately, the long-term target for silver is up at $60. Okay, folks. And with the geopolitical environment, I'm telling you, look at this. I mean, yeah, I expect some resistance. Definitely expect some resistance here. But this is not out of the question, folks. $60. So keep that one in mind. Man, we are rolling, aren't we? And that, I thought we had one more chart. All right, that was it. We got some time. I'll Newsom calling Trump's actions unlawful. Ruh-roh. Richard's asking, would this method be close to cycles? It appears to be close to being one. What do you mean, Richard? First off, let's go to ANF. How's everybody doing? Was that cool, that silver? It's nuts, isn't it? I'm just trying to find. There we go. Get up. There we go. All right. First of all, I want to go look at the, where was it? A&F, right, Joe? All right, let's take a look. A&F. Wow, this looks pretty interesting, doesn't it? Looks like it did 5, doesn't it? 1. I'd be looking to buy this guy, Joe. Yeah. So there's a triangle. A, B, C, D, E. There's 3. Maybe go down a little bit more. Here's what I like, guys. See this right here? This is a key point, and you want to extend off of this. You always want to extend off of the key node that was either the last leg down into a move or the last leg up into a move. So when that gets taken out, in this case, when 108.80 got taken out, you want to do extensions off that. All right. And if you want to be a purist, there's 1.498. That's actually a musical note, folks, believe it or not. Kind of crazy, isn't it? But let's just do this. So I'm going to do that. Tracking. I'm going to go. I always want to go to the all-time low. There we go. Let's throw that down there. Boop. Oh, here's what we're going to do. There we go. Check this out. Okay, see what I'm doing? I just went to log. Boom. Oh, come to Papa, huh? This is real time, folks. I'm just shooting the shit with you. Look at that. Kidding me? 54, 56-ish. Boom. It likes that, doesn't it? It likes that. Not as much, but look, remember we were talking about it? It does for the close. So I'll give you that one. I'll give you this one. Close. I'll give you this one. Now, these are not price moves. Remember, folks, this is all percentage moves. And this guy's this guy. See that? I really don't want this correction to occur. I'll be honest with you. That would get really ugly. Look at that, folks. Come on, man. Come on, man. You kidding me? Just train your eye. Oh, yeah. So, Richard, those are static cycles. They work. They're very helpful, but they're static. And so when you're doing like the end of a pattern, it's very helpful to use them. But a lot of times you'll get gosh, I forget what it's a CMT. I probably should remember. But you'll translations. You'll get right or left translation in the cycles. So that's why I like to do calendar day counts, square routes, watching the square route in Nvidia occur. Look at that one, folks. Boop. You were right. I'm not going to consider that one done. So let's do that. And what do you think that is? I think that's 127. Boom. Not perfect. Ha! There you go. Folks, it's nuts, isn't it? So all I did there, just to kind of rewind the videotape here, is this big move we're having here, these guys right here, see that? I just did 1.618 of it in percentage terms. I rolled it up to that, and bank, it was exactly equal to that. Not nuts. Man. And this one's 0.618 of it. Look at that. So thank you, A&F. Measured moves are insane. But remember, we're up here on the log scale. See that? Changes. So I should give a class, shouldn't I, you guys? Would you guys be interested in that? Just push charts around. So now I got to project here. It's kind of hard to project from a triangle, quite frankly, but we'll do it anyway. See what I'm doing? I'm just cleaning it up for you because I just want to complete the whole drill right there. So we know what that is. Come over here. And I'm going to go right there. There we go. Take that out. You guys see the structure? Downtrend. Nice, JB. Downtrend. We're interested in what? Resistance. Look at that guy. Stick up. So we project. We extend. This is all we do, folks. We have multiple methods to do it, right? We project, we extend, we retrace, we look for structure. Voila, there's some structure. That's great. See these guys here? See all these little wicks here? So I'll throw that one on that. Now we have a nice little level to enter. Let's try to buy it. 51.47 to about 54. So, about a $2 or $3 range there. And then we're going to project, right? So I'm going to go down to a weekly. There it is. And I'm going to define this to this to, wow, folks, look at this. Come to Papa. You guys see what I'm seeing? Said the man to the little drummer boy. God, look at this, man. This is sick. Let me take a look. I know I got to look at platinum. So, folks, check it out. We got ourselves a 1.618 price projection on top of structure, on top of the 786, on top of the measured move. We really want to kick down about 53 or 54 bucks. That's what we do. Nice one, whoever brought this one in. Thank you. This is really cool. No kidding. I've never looked at this guy before. But that's how we do it. I taught, hey, thanks, Joe. Yeah, I was a CMT. I guess I still am. I'm not going to talk bad, but I got a designation. Why do I have to pay you to keep it every year? But anyway, I was a CMTI level 3 instructor. So that was Elliott Wave, advanced oscillator concepts. So what's funny is I'm teaching this advanced oscillator concepts, you guys. I don't use them. So I'd always have to go study beforehand. I might throw an RSI in there every once in a while to look for divergences, but I don't use them. So I was like, oh, I got to teach this. Anyway, take a look at that one, guys. I like that. 53, 54 bucks. Yeah, Joe, thanks. AV. We'll get to platinum. Aero environment. Oh, nice. This puppy. See this 3 waves? Higher. See all those 3 waves? This whole thing's a correction, I think. A, B, C. What's interesting is when you get the A wave, a lot of times it likes to be a Fibonacci multiple. The C wave does. So I'll define this here. And voila, there it is. Sometimes it'll go to 1.68179. We've talked about that. That's a musical note. And so the key here, we're kind of in no man's land when I look at it from a patterns perspective. But ultimately, there's your buy. So we're probably banging up against some resistance here. Look at that, guys. Boom. Kidding me? And I think it's the same in time, too. That's what we really like. So we got that. We got this. Right there. So that was your buy. Man, I wish I would have known it. Look at that, guy. To the cent. Come on, man. Oh, Jim. All right, let's see what we're doing here. All right, what do we got? I'm going to go to a monthly. That's too crazy. There we go. Guy looks like it wants to go higher, doesn't it? See, guys, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Doesn't this look like Tesla right here? I'm looking for my pencil. There it is. Same form, right? Same form. 3 waves. That's what I'm seeing at Tesla. Now, remember, expanded flat. When you think of a corrective move, think of like an N. So, boom, 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 gone. See that? That's what I'm talking. That looks exactly like Tesla. I'm kind of liking that I can use the pencil, so that's why I keep doing a lot of it. So we're banging into some resistance. I feel like Aero Environment will probably be able to go to new highs based on this corrective move. This was a triangle, and then it could get interesting, right? So you see this triangle? There. There we go. So we go up, triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Resistance is 208. But for me, the buy has already occurred. All right. Cool. Platinum. PL. Number F. Platinum. Boom. Yeah, everybody's all crazy about that. You know, I used to spend a lot of time with Palladium and Apple. They trended together really nicely. So this is what I see at first. You guys see it? Come to Papa. Never made it. Okay, interesting. It's an extension target, probably 127. Never made it. Interesting. I'm off. Look at that bounce. Nice. It is looking extremely strong. Look at that. You guys know the 0.886 retracement level? You're going to want to learn that one. It's pretty good. So what we're trying to figure out is this a valid breakout for platinum? Certainly looks like it. Now, guys, when you do the Adams pitchfork, a lot of times you can stop, but a lot of times it's good to keep going higher. See that? And you want to intersect where the high was. It's actually really a pretty neat technique. But that's not working. So I'm going to come to here. That's what we're looking at, isn't it? So do you guys see where it can go at first? It can go here. So I would be long platinum. Maybe it's an ETF if you don't do futures. And this structure here, about 106, or I'm sorry, 1062, I'd get out if you get below that. That should hold it. And then, are we going to new highs on platinum? I don't want to say that yet. It looks really strong. The reason I don't want to say that yet is I'd like to take a look at the count and just kind of get an idea. Oh, what's happened there? How do I get rid of that? There. Yep. But it definitely looks like it's a valid breakout to 1600, right? Just doing the projection. We also have a target where? Here, sorry. So I'll make that red for the hearing impaired. Come on, that's a joke, folks. Nobody's laughing. We're all too serious. Well, we kind of have to be. There might be clones. Come on, man. You guys got to laugh. So that's a good target on platinum. Right there. So we did our projections. You guys see that? And I'm going to do a node here. Hopefully this is helping you guys. Whoop. Oh yeah, come to me. I like overlaps. 786s, 618s, overlaps, big deal. We like those. There we go. Get rid of that. And maybe a 1.618, probably 1.414. Why so serious? Yeah, I'm not. I didn't get to surf all weekend. It's really bummed me out. Look at that. Bam! Clean it up. There we go. So platinum looks valid. That's strong. I mean, let's be honest. That's some strength there, especially after all this consolidation. Now, remember, folks, we're up here on a month. So, and that's when I really like to, hey, let's level set here, folks. This basically, let's just call it a bottom here in like September. But this thing's been cooking for four years. Finally took off. Okay, where could it go? I think our first stop is about 1600, and then the low 1600s in here. This is nothing more than a measured move, right? So that's where I'm going with platinum, and that's why I say, hey man, I think all the metals are going to outperform, right? Yeah, we got a really nice pattern on silver. It's probably going to fail. Then it'll go up to that 786. That should be some pretty stiff resistance, folks. But ultimately, it wants to go higher. So I think all the metals are going to start to outperform, quite frankly. So hopefully this helps. I'm not there with oil. And here's the thing. Remember, Joe, these are fifth waves. So I believe gold's in a fifth wave. Silver's really weak. Bitcoin, I believe, is in a fifth wave, right? So it ain't easy, is where I'm going, right? It's not a sure bet. But I think we talked about this last week. Here's crude. I mean, that sounds insane, $12. It sounds insane, but that's what it's done every time, right? We could go here. Are we logged? No. All right, we're not logged yet. I haven't looked at this one, so I'm glad you brought that one up, Joe. And I got a couple emails from you guys this week, which is totally cool. And one of them was, hey, can you show techniques? So that's why I threw silver in there. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of that. Go back and study it. And guys, I'm being honest with you. None of that is coulda, woulda, shoulda. It was all real time. Every single pivot in gold for 13 years. Just saying. It's just patterns, folks. Come on, baby. Control CV. There we go. And survey says, ooh, now we're getting interesting. I got to tell you guys, SQM, maybe real quick. I don't know what to do. I've never had the opportunity to start a retracement grid from minus $40, but I'm going to do it because that was the price, folks. And there you go. $25 maybe. This is about 42. And then we've got this little guy. When we do the course, we like to project from a 50% retracement. See how this is like a 382, which, oh, by the way, is weak, right? And what happened? It went down. So a lot of times, actually, is this 50%? Maybe it is. There's 382. There's 50. Close enough for government work. But all I'm trying to do here, folks, is we do have a projection. It comes down here. Right there. So that's $28. So I just think we got a little bit lower on crude. No idea what's going on in the Middle East. Well, it's a shit show, but no idea all the volumes and all that stuff. Just looking at the charts, it sure looks like it wants to go a little bit lower, doesn't it, Joe? Okay. Oh, thanks, Wavy. Yeah, Bart at bartscharts.com. Pretty simple. I'll send it to you, man. Thanks for being interested. So we're going to end it up. We got an SQM, and so I'm going to be real quick. SQM. Holy smokes! What is that? Societal. Oh, what is that? Sure looks like it wants the bottom, doesn't it? So now guess what? Let's log it. Oh, see how we did that? Because what am I looking for? Percentage corrections. And we might be there. Percentage corrections. I know we've gone past 5. You guys are still with me because we're all geeks on a Sunday night pushing charts around. Hey, by the way, Spencer had his baby. He didn't. His wife did. And everybody's good. So we're stoked. Look at that. Woof. I don't know what SQM is, but come to Papa, huh, guys? Buy 25.86 or so. And then no one really knows this one. 0.841, folks. There we go. A musical note, but don't worry about it. So SQM, I like that. Look at that. Oh, sorry. You know the way to San Jose, la la. Look at that. Woof. I don't know why we're barking, but woof. So yeah, do you guys want to go out on a limb? What do you think this guy is? 0.786? Bet it is. Close enough, guys. Maybe it's 0.9438. Anyone know what that is? Anyone paying attention? It is. That's 1.05946 inverse. And that's a 12th root of 2. That's how we tune our music. So look at that. Still don't know what SQM is, but everyone says wolf after it. So wolf. It's a dog. Oh, you guys got me on that one. Nice. It's a dog. Oh, that's great. All right, guys, this has been a blast. Thank you so much. Yeah, hit me on biggest lithium mining in the world. By the way, Lit's taking off, guys. Sorry, I know we're past time. But remember this buy on Lit? Let's go. It's taking off. So maybe we get a little SQM love going. Thank you for that. That was really interesting. That's so funny. Woof. I've never known that. I'm like, what are they? I'm like, is it dog food? What is happening here? Nice. Yeah, there's Lit. Love it. Okay. All right. You guys, thank you so much. It's all good. Have a great week. I love doing this with you guys. And keep the emails coming. All right. We have a good time here. And a lot going on in the world, so be safe. All right. Thanks, you guys.